As a solo esthetician, you're always hearing about what you're supposed to buy. From Instagram, trade shows, brands, it's hard to know what's going to be worth the money. I did a video on this recently on Instagram and it was a hit and people seem to want to know more about this. And so I'm going to expand on the 5 things that I believe are worth the money as a solo esthetician. I'm going to take out some things, add some new tips in here. So make sure to watch to the very end. I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on some of these things. And after 8 years being in this industry, as well as opening up a successful practice, I can confidently say that if you invested in these things, that you would see a return on investment and your client experience would improve. And so if that interests you, you already know what to do. Grab that pen and paper and let's get into it. Starting off with number 1, and this is in no particular order. I do believe this is one of the investments that commonly gets overlooked and is an underrated investment. And I believe if you're a solo esthetician, a massage therapist, or anybody who uses a treatment table, that this will be worth every single penny. It's going to save you years on your career. It's something I've never regretted. And so Earthlight, if you're watching this, I think we should partner up because I need a second one for Kristen's room still. The range of an electronic treatment table can be from $2,000 to $5,000 from what I've seen online. Now the one that I got is one that can be adjusted. So let me show you real quick. Comes with a remote like this, and you're able to adjust it while your client is on here. And so it can lift upwards. And is that as high as it goes? It goes pretty darn high. Look at how freaking high it got. I didn't know it went this high, y'all. I don't think I've ever... Oh my... What? Yeah, guys, I had never actually made it go all the way high. Whoa, this thing goes so high. Okay, now I'm going back down. I'm just holding this button down, but it just takes a plug-in. It's a 3-prong plug. 2-3 years I've had this and not one single error has happened with this. Okay, so I think we're getting back down to the normal height. Oh my God. I did not think that it went that high. I never had tried it like that. Okay, and the other feature is that it lifts up in the back. Make it more comfortable. Say you're someone who does eyebrows or things like that and you need them to like sit up easily. You can have your clients sitting up and be able to see them and them not have to like move a finger to do that. Also for your clients that are pregnant, for your clients that have bad backs. I've had clients that said they had vertigo and they get dizzy easily. And so I've been able to elevate them and make them more comfortable because of that. More cushioned. I have obviously a couple other items underneath this blanket here, and everything else is linked in my Amazon storefront, like the sheets and the cushion and the table warmer and all that. But just having something like this also will save you years on your career, because if you're able to adjust your table and move it up and down throughout the treatment, sometimes you need to have them higher or lower depending on what you're doing in the facial. It will save your back. If you are doing the proper body mechanics and keeping in mind like proper body positioning and whatnot, like you'll have a long career. And I can happily say that I don't have any major problems at this point. And I do believe that it's because I've invested in this table. And back down we go. Let's get into number 2, guys. Number 2, and this is different from my video on Instagram. I'm adding this in here because you cannot forget this as an investment, not only for your own knowledge, for the success of your business, for you to be able to stay up to date on the latest and greatest. Absolutely, absolutely, you need to invest in continuing education. I have spent money on a lash extension course, lash lift course, permanent makeup course, makeup courses, Brazilian waxing. I've done a lot of continuing education classes. Obviously, I've not necessarily continued with every single one of those skills, but was it a waste of money? Absolutely not. Even if I don't necessarily utilize those skills now, it's still made me money during that season. It still was a good skill to learn and to have as an esthetician. And if I would have continued to stick with some of those things, I'm sure it would have continued to make me money. Now, the classes that I'm going to highlight right now are the ones that are classes that I have been using those skills that I learned from and have made me thousands of dollars in my business. So the first one is the Dermaplane Pro training. Dermaplaning is a extremely popular service these days in the aesthetic industry. It is where you're removing dead skin and peach fuzz from the face with a medical grade steel scalpel, and you are trained on how to do this in your treatments. And I kid you not, my clients, probably every other service, get this treatment because they love it so much. I personally love it. It was a little bit uncomfortable to learn, but once you get the hang of it, it's like riding a bike. It's like, you know, no problem. And it has been absolutely worth the return on investment. I'll put the link down below for the certification so you can see what cities it's available in. If they have any classes coming up, make sure you tell them Kristen Marie sent you. And I'm pretty sure the price is probably different from when I took it, but I only remember it being like a few $100s, maybe like $500 or $600, and I've made well over $500-$600 offering dermaplaning in my practice. So look it up to see what it is now, and I promise you, taking a dermaplaning certification course is going to be worth every penny. The next thing I would say makes us a significant amount of money in our practice is offering the hydrodermabrasion service. And so, as you guys know, I'm a partner with Zemetz Aesthetics, so use my code Kristen for a discount on anything Zemetz. In my Instagram video, I highlighted the Zemetz Veriface. I have yet to do an updated review on that device, but I do believe that anything I've invested in with Zemetz has been quality. It comes with continuing education classes. I've gone to a conference with them. I've gone to trade shows with them. They're huge on education, and actually their education comes with the devices. So I would say kind of dually, you know, investing in certain brands or products or devices that come with continuing education is absolutely worth it too, and Zemetz has just never let me down. You guys know that I offer my own trainings as well. If there's a certain esthetician or professional in the industry that you look up to, that you see is moving and shaking in this industry, it might be worth checking out what they're doing. Number 3, I'm going to categorize this as media or your marketing. I've spent thousands of dollars on getting a professional point and shoot camera. I've had other cameras over the years. I have the Sony Alpha 6600 right now is what I've been filming on for my YouTube videos, for promoting photos and videos on Instagram. I've taken a handful of my own photos, as well as I've hired professional photographers and videographers that are absolutely worth the money. Sometimes when like you're gonna be running an event or you want some really professional photos taken and you can't do them yourself, I'm always willing to spend top dollar on other people's talent in that sense, because I'm actually very particular with content and media and things like that. So I will pay top dollar for somebody who is A1. And so photographer that I've been using is Margarita Photography. She's amazing. She's located in Benicia, California. And then Francis Films. He used to work for Nike and now he's working on his own. So if you guys are local here in the Bay Area, I would definitely hit him up, but you're for sure gonna pay a pretty penny for him, but he's worth it because he's worked with like a top brand and his work is always clean and he's professional, gets you your stuff on time, and also Margarita is too. So find your favorites in your area by just searching up, like for us it'd be like Bay Area photographer, Bay Area videographer, and so whatever city or area that you're in, you can just search someone up and just fork through their work. Ideally talk to someone who's worked with them too and get their referral and feedback, but find yourself a go-to photographer and a go-to videographer for your business. As far as cameras, I looked a lot at YouTube videos. I looked a lot at reviews on Best Buy, on Costco. I ended up purchasing this camera based off reviews and videos that I saw on YouTube, and I believe it's been worth it. It kind of depends what style you like. The Sony has a little bit of a like dimmer, darker, sultry kind of vibe to it. Canons are a little more warm and bright, and so it really just kind of depends like what you prefer your content to look like. But the reason why I highlight media and anything to do with marketing, so that also goes for your website. We hired someone to do a rebrand last year. Absolutely worth the money. We had them redo our website. I can expand on these more specifically in different videos, but I would just say as a whole, media and marketing, don't blink twice when it comes to showing up as best as you can online. Now, does it mean you need to follow a certain aesthetic? Does it mean that you need to be like everybody else? Heck no. Like, I love seeing people who really just like own their style and own their vibe, and you will find your people. So don't feel like you always have to follow this like clean aesthetics girl and it's beige and clean text and this and that. Like, if you're someone who loves to like wear black or bright colors, like, make it your own. I think that's beautiful when people put their own personality and vibe into their aesthetic and their media and their websites. And that's exactly what I did. Mine just so happened to be kind of like more earth tones, neutrals, like you guys see in my style. Like, if you see me online and stuff, like I'm wearing what my brand looks like. I'm being who I am with my brand too. Make sure it's authentic to you. You know, of course, we'll start off with what you're going to start off with. Like, my brand and media has transformed over the years, but as you gain more income and reputation in the community and you're able to tap into like more skilled media people, you'll be able to elevate your brand over the years. So again, don't feel like you need to do this like all in the beginning, but it's definitely something that should be continued to be invested in, because times change, pictures, you know, get repetitive, or, you know, you just need something fresh and new. And so it's something that you're just always going to have to invest in. I can't even put a dollar amount to this. I've spent thousands on this for sure. I realized very early on when I opened up the practice that retail was gonna be a money maker. The second to the most expensive thing that I spend on every single month here in my business. And so yes, it's gonna cost you thousands kind of up front, but do you need to spend thousands right away? No. If you're just getting started, pick one or two products that you are passionate about, that you use on your own skin, and that you will feel confident retailing to your clients. But I would not start out with nothing, because that's what I did, unfortunately. I started day one and I had no retail because I started with what I had. Okay, it wasn't on purpose. It was because I had very limited funds and I used everything I could to open this up and make it what it was at the time. And so I slowly invested into retail. So again, if that's something that's out of the budget for now, then that's what it is. But would I prioritize it immediately? Absolutely. Retail is going to be something that as soon as that product leaves your hand, you are going to make 2 to 3 times off of that product, what you spent on it. And so that's, of course, where it comes to like strategic pricing. You want to make sure that you're making at least a 50% profit off of that product. Can it be higher? Of course. Can it be lower? Of course. But you absolutely want to, at the minimum, make 50% or more on that product. And so, yes, it's money up front, but it's going to be money put back in your pocket and even more. Easily, you can add on retail products to a service, and it's going to make that service maybe sometimes double, triple, quadruple in profit just off one client. Of course, too, it's going to get your clients better results. They're going to keep coming back, because if you have good products that you're also passionate about and you're seeing results from, then people are going to rave about that, because they're going to be like, oh my gosh, ever since I started coming to so-and-so, my skin started clearing up, it started doing this, I saw less of this. And retail is a huge player in that. Do not sleep on retail. For us here at our practice, we have Image Skincare, Lemieux, Skin Script, Circadia. Yeah, those are like our major lines that we retail here. Bush Balm for our waxing clients. It's pretty standard to sell products, and I know sometimes it can feel like, oh, I'm being salesy or I don't want to push products. Love, this is part of the job. This is part of being a solo esthetician, is retailing products. Do you need to be pushy and weird about it? No, like, of course not. I try to present it as naturally as possible, and I've done other videos about my strategies and whatnot. So if you want to see more retail and sales strategies, I'd be happy to make a video about that if that's something that interests you too. All right, y'all, let's wrap it up with number 5. And actually, I'm going to throw a bonus one at the end here, so make sure you watch to the very end. But number 5 that I didn't mention on Instagram, now that I've had time to marinate in this topic, I absolutely believe that it was worth hiring an employee. If you guys have been following the journey for a little bit, I did hire 2 people initially, and one, Kristen D, has stuck through and been with me for 4 years now. She just hit her 5-year esthetician anniversary, and it's just been such a joy to see her grow and morph and develop as an esthetician and to be part of that. I feel like a proud Esti mama. Not only that, but You guys know I am a single parent, have a child with special needs. Life has just been a roller coaster the last couple years, given all those circumstances, as well as just life, you know, and it's been such a huge relief sometimes to be able to count on Kristen to step in when needed. You know, she's definitely stepped in sometimes to take clients that I couldn't take. She's just been an invaluable part of this business. And yes, it is a big investment to hire somebody. You are responsible for their pay, for their income, for their livelihood. And so not only like money wise, but it is a big responsibility. If you reach that point in your business where maybe say, you know, you want to take a little step back from working as much, or you have a long wait list, or, you know, life's just pushing you in that direction to hire somebody, I will say when it's a good fit and it's a good employee and you train them well, absolutely you will see a return on investment in hiring somebody. I consider her a close friend, a partner, whatever you want to call it. She just so happens to have the same name as me. It just worked out so beautifully. Like any investment, you have to be willing to kind of take the risk, and if it works out, it works out big. So don't sleep on that, and know that that's going to be worth it if you find the right fit. Now, the last bonus thing I'm going to throw in here is investing in yourself. I've preached this over and over on my channel and on Instagram that if you don't take care of your temple and your mind and your heart and your spirit, you will not last more than a few years in this industry. Becoming a solo esthetician takes so much personal development, so much inner introspection, so much, it just pushes you. It pushes you in ways that you will never be pushed unless you open a business. And so with that being said, with you having to pour into others and work late nights and sacrifice and physically on clients too, it's a very physical job, and you're sharing energy with people, and you're learning and you're making content. I was literally just ranting about this to Kristen, like, dude, this is a lot. And truthfully, when I make time for myself, whether that is through like self-care, so you guys know I'm big on like getting your own facials, making sure your skincare routine is being done at home, getting whatever you feel is relaxing. So for me, I love massages, I love getting a pedicure, I like getting my hair done, my nails done, just whatever you need to feel your best. And that can vary for everybody who's watching this. So whatever it is that you feel is worth it and makes you feel good. And it can just be one thing a month. You know, you don't have to go crazy with it. I know if you're on a budget, you don't need to go crazy with it. Pick one thing that you can do for yourself every single month that will help just refresh you, that'll help fill your cup up again. It's just so important to pour back into yourself so that you can pour into others. And as you guys know, I've been blowing up your feeds about this BALI retreat that I'm doing in 2027. You guys saw we went to Costa Rica in June, and that was just a beautiful experience. I think it served its purpose, at least for me it did. And I know based off the testimonies from the attendees, it served its purpose for them too. And it was a way to recenter, it was a way to relax a little bit, to have some fun. And so we're going to Bali, Indonesia in 2027, you guys. We're going from April 26th to May 2nd, 7-day itinerary. If you guys are interested in more information, check out my Q&A session as well as the link down below to book. It is now officially open for enrollment. It can be questioned whether this is like an investment or worth it or whatever hesitations you might have, but all I can say is that already just with the 8 people, because it's officially confirmed, it got booked up with 8 people. We needed to meet that minimum for this trip to happen, and so it is happening, and we are excited to keep adding more people to the roster, but we are going to be meeting virtually as well. And it's going to be like a mentorship program also. It's going to be a way to connect with other people who are doing what you're doing and just have that community for this next 9-month period until we go on the trip. And so I'm so excited for that. Already the group chat we have going and the people that I've been interacting so far who are going on the trip are amazing and refreshing. And so I'm just so big on pouring into yourself and as well as having a community around you. Check that out if that interests you, and I hope to see you there. Comment below if you made it to this part of the video. Give me some Give me some palm trees, because I'm thinking about Bali right now, and sipping a coconut drink and being under the palm trees on the beach, because we're going to a beach club while we're there. Check out the whole itinerary. You guys are going to be blown away. So anyways, I will see you guys back here next week. Remember, my videos are now posting on Fridays. Thank you so much for your continued love and support, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.